think. There's other things that they do to show that they value you. So what you have to do is change your focus from I need a please or thank you to I'm gonna recognize and acknowledge these other things my family's doing for me. Because flip it around, I can guarantee you every one of us fails to show somebody in our life appreciation. Yeah. We do not meet every person's needs. And that doesn't mean we don't love and care about them. It just means we're not mind readers and we're not conscious 100% of the time of what's happening around us. So if us, in our generous state, can't meet other people's needs all the time, it's really unrealistic for other people to meet our needs. So again, it's the inner work that you have to do and then the outer work to sort of wrap up the package.
Okay. Okay. And those love languages, I like your love. I got to add that to my list.
I'm one of the few nannies who will admit their love language is money.
I'll be somewhere between 1 and 2. I got to add that to my list. You're welcome, Lucretia. You're welcome. So do you have any other tips that you can give us about saying no before we close? Since I don't see any more questions.
Okay. Other tips. You know, honestly, I think just getting comfortable in yourself, in your worth. You are worth having healthy boundaries. And I think it's really easy for caregivers to understand that because, again, just put it in the perspective of what would I tell my kid? What would I want my kid to set boundaries? Would I want my child to say no if somebody asks him to do something he's not comfortable with or he doesn't want to do? And, you know, we teach it to kids, so we need to teach ourselves the same lesson. And the biggest piece of advice I can give everybody is don't expect to feel 100% comfortable saying no. Even I feel guilty, and I'm like the queen of no. When I say no to somebody, I still have that tinge of guilt because I love it. If I could be a person who met everybody's needs 100% of the time, and I did it wonderfully, that would be my goal, but that's not realistic. So when I have to tell a friend no, or I have to tell somebody at work no, I go, ugh. But that's where the inner dialogue comes in, and I remember my opportunity cost. Yeah, I'm not going to take on this extra project because, you know, I like having downtime, or I like to sleep in, or I have another friend who's really in need right now. So so don't expect to feel comfortable. Do it anyway, and change your inner dialogue. That voice in your head, you cannot believe how powerful it is. And it can be powerful for you in a negative way or a positive way. So be aware of it. It's amazing how many people aren't even aware of their inner dialogue. It's crazy. So just be more conscious of that. So that would be my 2 big tips.
Okay. So turn down the volume on the people, please.
Well, not just turn it down, but change it.
Change the volume.
Yeah.
change
I had somebody say to me the other day that she's a very good friend, and she's a giver. Oh, she's like a massive giver. She can't say no to save her life. And she called me up, and she also can't ask for help. Those two things normally correlate. If you say yes to everybody else, you have a very hard time asking for help. So she called me, and she asked for help, and I said to her, I'm really proud of you that you're reaching out when you need somebody. She goes, you know what? You're the only person I've asked. And I said, well, why is that? Because I'm definitely not great at what you're asking me to do. And she said, because I know you'll say no if it doesn't work for you. I don't have to feel guilty about asking you because I know if you can't do it or for whatever reason, that you'll just say no. And so I don't carry around all this guilt. She goes, when I ask my other friends, I'm afraid that they're going to sacrifice themselves, you know what I mean, and say yes when they really don't mean it. And she goes, and then it just makes me feel guilty for asking them. So when we start to say no, our relationships overall get more healthy. And at this point, I can say yes to her. But there are many times in the past when I've said no to this friend. Sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it today, but I can do it 2 days from now. Does that work for you? So it doesn't always have to be a solid no. I can't do exactly what you're asking for exactly right now, but let's figure something out. But saying no is very freeing to not just you, but to the people that you're in relationship with too.
Okay. So sometimes the saying no is more of a delay and not a total denial.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can deal with some of those. I can compromise. No, I can't do that on today, but maybe tomorrow if you need me next week I can deal with those. Yeah. Elle says you have both helped with something I've been thinking about for 30 years. I have come to these same conclusions. Thanks for bouncing my thoughts off my very stable husband.
That's awesome.
Thanks to bouncing my thoughts off of my very stable husband. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So one word changes the whole sentence. Sorry. But yes, I understand your plight, Elle. I was the same way. I was just telling them that it took me 40 years to get past that passive aggressive and stop waiting until I got up to here to say no when I was at the screaming and yelling match and come back down to about right here. I'm here. I'm working on coming on down here where I can just peacefully say, okay, no, that's not for me. So yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working.
Well, and that's the thing. It's never too late. We will be working on this hopefully until the day we die. You know what I mean? It's never too late to start saying no, and I don't even see it as to me, it's not even a negative thing. People are like, oh, it's such a, hot topic, or it's such a negative thing. And I'm like, why is it a negative thing? It's not. It's saying what you need or what you can and can't do. It's being genuine and being honest and authentic. So to me, it's a positive. But it took me a long time to get here. I was totally passive aggressive. Oh my God. When I was younger, I either said absolutely nothing or I completely blew up, which is the reason I started figuring out communication, because I thought, ooh, this isn't the person I want to be,
Right.
So it's never too late. And you're never too one way. You're never too much of a doormat or too easy or too whatever. I hear that from people. It's like, oh, it's just too hard for me. It's not too hard. You just have to take it in bite-sized.
Right. Elle said, we discover our voice so strongly when we reach our 40s and 50s.
There you go.
I guess you have to live for a while in order to get to that no. That solid no. So, thank you so much for coming on today and for giving us some tips and some building our confidence and
fun. I'm here alone, by the way. I'm at the DRC and they closed the office down. So I couldn't get home in time to do the interview, so I stayed late, so I'm here in the building alone. It's a little creepy because it used to be a funeral home. Okay?
Bye-bye. Go home, Lord. Go home.
So saying.
You know what? We don't want to keep you. Go home. Go home. Thank you so much for coming, for joining us, and thank you for
well, thanks for inviting
me to stay.
I have no idea how to get out of this chat, so
Okay,
you'll just have to shut me.
I will close you out, and thank you.
Okay.
And we will talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Mm-hmm.